am. The streets are restless, my hands shaking like I need it. I don't know why you got me sinking so low. Yeah, girl, you got me restless. I got to know, don't keep me waiting. Said I love in motion, let's go. I can be yours. I don't know where we'll go from here, so let's feel what we wanna feel. I don't know where we'll go from here. Let's just take a chance. I can be your man. Desire passes through my fingers.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. How you all doing out there in the arm wrestling world? Muscle Bike, how are you, man? US Move, good to see you. Welcome. It's gonna be a laid back live stream today. Don't know how long I'll be live. Probably about for an hour is what I'm aiming for, but we'll see. How you guys doing? Let me start a quick poll in chat, I'm curious. Hey, Rino Masic in the house. How you doing, Reno? I'm well. Let me see if I can set some stuff up here. Thanks for commenting, by the way, Reno. I have yet to reply to you on the video, but I appreciate it. Muscle Bike says, I'm great. Thanks, Arm Historian. Hope the backlash from the Engin video wasn't too harsh. No, people in general were very positive. I can't speak for Engin, of course, and I won't. But yeah, people in general were very positive, so I'm happy. The video took a long time to make. Shouldn't have taken that long. A couple of months, I think I've worked on it. But yeah, it's out, it's done. And now we can move on to the next one. Hey, Bench 600, how you doing? Reno message says, I'm doing good. I had a tough day of training today, but all in all, I'm fine. Good to hear it, Reno. Good to hear that your training is going well. Yeah, I saw Reno. I met Reno a couple of weeks ago now, I think. He actually gave his first seminar, I think I can call it. Something like that. Really good. I really enjoyed it. Learned a lot. And yeah, I got a chance to meet him in person. Really nice guy. So yeah, how many of you had the chance to watch the video? I'm curious. I'll start a poll. Hey, yeah, Reno. Too bad we didn't arm wrestle. I agree, we should have. Reno is like... I said this before to people... because they asked me what Reno was like, meeting him in person. And yeah, Reno is he's very generous with his time and gives people a lot of leeway on the practice table. Something that I kind of noticed. Muscle Bike says, of course we watched it, right guys? It's okay if you didn't, it's a very long video. So yeah, I understand if people can't spend half an hour to watch it. That's quite a long time. Friendly Face says, I enjoyed your magnum opus about Engin. Hopefully he likes it too. That was my hope, truly, going into it. I feel like I never want to be too hard on people when I make videos about them, because especially now I'm starting to know some of these people in real life. So yeah, that's kind of another dimension to it. But yeah, I hoped Engin liked it. yeah, it's not my place to say what Engin thinks about the video. He told me in private what he thought about it, and yeah, that's enough. I don't think I need to share it publicly in any way. If you want to know, you have to ask him. Yeah. TOS Move says he loved the video, the old video in it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I spent a lot of time actually looking for old footage in this video. Phil Woody, how you doing? Phil, good to see you. Another guy I met in real life a while ago now. But yeah, another really great guy there. Good evening, gang. Great docu on Engin. Hope you liked it. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. Toljan says, I didn't watch it. I can't stand Engin. I did leave a comment though. I appreciate you, Toljan. Of course, I understand if people don't want to watch videos on certain topics. That's totally fine. But I appreciate you helping the algorithm out there by leaving a comment. Let me grab a quick drink here, guys. Reno says it's okay that the video took that long to make. Greatness can be rushed. I appreciate that, Reno, and I think, yeah, you're a good authority to speak on that. I think you put in the hours in the gym. So yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for linking the video there, Phil. Yeah, I'll see. It'll be interesting to see where the views end up. I remember with the Devon video, views didn't start picking up until half a year after I made it or something, and they skyrocketed. So yeah, we'll see where it ends up. It is what it is, right? Once I put a video out there, I try not to ruminate too much on how it's doing. So what do we have planned for this stream? I'm gonna be honest, not a lot, but yeah, I am, as the title might suggest, opening it up to viewer call-ins. You don't have to call in, of course. If nobody calls in during the entire stream, that's totally fine. Yeah, we can talk about anything. If you have a subject to talk about, or a video you want to watch maybe together, we can. A video that you send in, of course. I can't just watch any video on YouTube, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Let me quickly set up some stuff here, and then I'll post a link in case anyone wants to. Summit Odzelik says East versus West. 14 cards. Sorry for butchering your name there, Summit. Probably. Yeah, good idea. East versus West 14 is definitely something I'd want to talk about. If someone calls in and wants to talk about that, that's totally fine with me too. We can even pull that up as we go. Let's actually do that. Let's pull up the card to take a look and get the conversation going here. And then I'll set up the call-ins. The Fearless Spectrum says welcome back. I appreciate it. The Fearless Spectrum. I've been trying to grind out the video, finally get it uploaded. Took so long and I kind of had enough of working on it, kind of burned out on working on it. So yeah, I just wanted to get it out there. Let me pull up East vs. West 14 card. It's closing in. I'm gonna be making a video on it, kind of in the same vein as my previous video on East vs. West 13. Kind of everything you need to know condensed into a 5 or 6 minute video. Yeah, not that it's doing that great numbers wise. Yeah, which was to be expected. I put it out, I think, 2 days before the event. But yeah, a lot of people seem to like it and ask for a follow-up video, so why not? They don't take too long to make, only a couple of days. Let me see if I can pull up the event for you guys, the card here. And there it is. And there we are. Phil Woody says no, fix tonight, tomorrow with Devin instead. Ah, interesting. Okay, good to know, Phil. Thanks for letting me know. It's gonna be good seeing Devin on there. Samet says nice homage to Engin and his home country. Thanks, Samet. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you feel that way. I'm glad that that's what you took out of it. Hey, Devin's Forearm in the house. How you doing, Devin's Forearm? Good to see you. Jean van Skalkwak says, did you just see Devin reveal his next opponent? Ivan Matyushenko, gonna be insane. I did not see that. That just happened. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Sounds like a really good matchup. Gonna be interesting for sure. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Hang on, let me quickly copy the link for calling in. I'll post it in the description and I'll also post it in chat. Like I said, you don't need to call in. If you feel like it, you can. That being said, do try to keep it civil. Yeah, if you just start being ridiculous, then I'll just kick you. I think that's fair. There we go. I'll also post it in chat and pin the message. Or at least attempt to. There we go. Chuck says, how long will you be online approximately? Anywhere from another, I think, half hour to another hour or so. Yeah. Anywhere within that range, Chuck. Reno says, Ivan is getting a lot of matches right now. Yeah, Ivan is a hot commodity on the professional arm wrestling stream. Yeah, kind of circuit. Very true. Le Franglish, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I'm doing quite well. Musclebikes is calling, guys. Get involved. The historian is a friendly historian. Yeah, feel free if you want to call in. I am a friendly dude in general, I think. Usually. And it's a quite laid-back atmosphere, so no pressure. Would be good if you have a topic to talk about. If you want to talk about something specific. Tallpaul says, thought it was an awesome video, Arm Historian. You definitely put some time and effort into it. I don't agree with a few things Engin does, but I can appreciate the video you put together. Well, and I can appreciate you, Tallpaul, for the continued support. Seriously. Yeah, a lot of regulars in the chat right now. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Means a lot. Some things don't always turn out as you want. It is at the end of the day a hobby of mine. It's not a job or anything I'm doing. And yeah, sometimes some things kind of get to me a little. But it's good to see that we still have a really nice community here. That makes it kind of worth it for me. Rino messages, Morozov, Muratov, Devon, yeah. A lot of good names there. Muscle Bike says, did I miss much by not buying the pay-per-view this weekend? Which pay-per-view was there this weekend? Maybe I missed an important one. Doljan says, Ivan is probably under contract, like Lars and Lachlan. Might be the case. I think it would be a good athlete to put under contract, Ivan Matyushenko. Luminous says, welcome to Arm Historian channel. Buy the pay-per-view to watch it alive. Well, Luminous, no need to pay anything to me. I don't think I ever ask for any kind of donation or membership or whatever. If people want to, they're free to, but yeah. You'll never hear me asking for it on this stream. But welcome, either way. Topal says, I didn't get the pay-per-view either, bike. Been a busy couple of weeks here at the homestead. Luminous says, are you going to spare my life? For this time, I will, Luminous. This time I will. But yeah, if you continue on this path, I'll have to make an expose video on you. It's about the worst I can do to you. Damn, yeah. I saw some of this card before, obviously. Looking really good. A lot of great matches, yeah, I'm looking through them. Let's take a look at them one by one, kind of, maybe. Granny Soup Ladle says, haven't had a chance to watch the banger yet. I'm confident it's a banger. I appreciate it, Granny Soup Ladle. Yeah. If you get there, let me know what you thought. Always interested. Topal says, how about Brad Grundy quitting? Yeah, man. That's some bad news, I think. Poor guy, right? Sucks. Wish he would stick around longer. Muscle Bike with the 5 gifted Arm Historian memberships. Muscle Bike is one of those crazy people that's way too generous. I've met Muscle Bike in real life, and he's just as generous and friendly in real life. So yeah, seriously, Muscle Bike, you don't have to do that. You know this. I appreciate it either way. Get your membership, guys, and thank Muscle Bike if you got one. For sure, Muscle Bike, that's crazy, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very generous. Chuck says, don't you have power of choking through screen with your head arm? Not yet. I'm working up to it. I'm still new to the whole distance fighting. Putting my fist through the screen and breaking the laws of physics. Not quite there yet. Welcome, Friendly Face, Lefranglish Arm Wrestling, Bill Woody, UK, Reno Masic, and Atlantis in real life. Guys, we have a true arm wrestling celebrity as part of the Armians right now, so everybody be on their best behavior, please. Thank you so much, Muscle Bike. Show Muscle Bike some love in the chat. That's awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Muscle Bike. Granny Soup Ladle says, I'm assuming you're saying pissed there, right? About the Brad stuff? Like a fangirl? Yeah. I get you, man. It's unfortunate. I like Brad. We're talking like as if he has passed or something, but yeah, he's just not doing competitive arm wrestling anymore, right? For the foreseeable future. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Luminous says, what do you think about Devon and Engin arguing? I'll speak on... Maybe it might be a cop-out a little bit, Luminous, but I'll speak on this in a roundabout way that a lot of the infighting in arm wrestling is very unfortunate, and the scope of it keeps surprising me. More and more I get to be part of the community, so to speak, and meet some people. One thing that stood out to me a lot was there's a lot of behind the scenes. The example you used is not behind the scenes, obviously. So I don't know if you could include it in the same category, but there's a lot of the behind the scenes, yeah, infighting going on. And frankly, I think our community is way too small for that. If you're doing it online, on kind of a public forum in a public setting, I can kind of get it, seeing as it might, it might serve some controversy, might get people watching, might get people more involved. But if you're doing it behind the scenes and like it's real, then I think we're way too small a sport to do stuff like that. It's not beneficial for the growth of our sport right now. At least that's my take on it, you know. I'm not as entrenched as a lot of the other guys. I'm not as long into the community as a lot of the other people, and I understand that through time, kind of grudges can develop and stuff can happen between people and etc, etc. But I do think in general, you should try to keep it to a minimum. I know it might sound kind of corny, but it's just the way it is, just reality in my opinion. I don't get, it's not necessary, about the stupidest stuff sometimes. Muscle Bike says, no worries, Arm Historian, this is a great little corner of the arm wrestling world. Thank you so much, Muscle Bike. Happy you're a part of that little corner there. Granny Supladel says, I love you. And I you, Granny Supladel, how could I not? W, Muscle Bike, yes indeed, Reno. I love you, Muscle Bike, no homo, says Luminous. Verbeer says, evening guys. Verbeer just missed another free membership he could have had. Thanks to Muscle Bike. Typic Gamer says what they said. Good contribution there, Typic Gamer, how you doing? Phil Woody says, RIP Brad, dead to us now, hope he does commentary, had a great technical understanding. Yeah, one can hope he still stays involved, right? Yeah, just unfortunate because Brad didn't look like the typical arm wrestler, elite arm wrestler, but he had the skills to actually back it up, so yeah, great attribute, I think. Luminous says, as the sport gets bigger, the more controversy will it attract. Yeah, that's true, Luminous, and I understand that. And when, like I said, when you're doing that publicly and kind of tongue-in-cheek in a way, with the understanding of we're all building up to the same thing, that's fine. Yeah, when you're nefariously doing other stuff, I don't know. Just maybe it's just a mindset I'm in right now, but that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. And yeah, it's a little disappointing. Granny Supladel just says, just can't believe someone who made it to the top and promised a match at next East vs West. And he fucking quits because his doctor is a big doo-doo head. Probably a doo-doo head. He clarifies. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know his doctor. Might be. I hope. You should always get a second opinion, right? Especially with stuff like that. But yeah, I hope. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know. Mas Zahid says, hi, do earn from arm wrestler autobiography. I can kind of guess what you mean by that, Mas, but unfortunately I don't really understand that. Understand the question. Do you mean if I earn money from the videos I make? Because arm wrestler autobiography is suggesting I've made a biography on myself. Right, that's an autobiography. So yeah, maybe clarify a little, Maz, and I'll be happy to answer. Neil Hans says, do you think arm wrestling table is perfect or it needs some changes and what? That's a very interesting question, Neil Hans. I've worked on a video before about the arm wrestling table. It kind of gave up halfway and started working on something else. But I might need to revisit that because it's a very interesting question. I think it's good as it is right now. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be looking at alterations, if necessary, you know, if they're actually beneficial. But I think it's pretty good right now. But yeah, I need to make a video on that. I don't know how popular it will be, but yeah, it's just something that interests me too. That's an interesting name, by the way, Neil Hans. Where are you from, Neil, if you don't mind me asking? Jacobin says, in some ways, Brad Grundy is letting down his fans. Yeah, okay. In a very superficial way, I agree there. But when it comes to someone's health, I get it. I don't think, yeah, there's anything to put the guy down on right now. Granny Supledo said Brad was legit my favorite arm wrestler. Yeah, I think a lot of people, he was quite high on a lot of people's lists, especially lately. Jacobin says, had high hopes for Brad. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. But you never know, guys, you never know. He's still young. Might still come back, he might get a second opinion, or anything might happen, right? We don't know. And like someone else mentioned before, I think if he still stays involved with arm wrestling in some capacity, that's enough, right? Friendly Face says, it's okay, we still got Bowen, that's true. We still have Ryan Bowen to fulfill our ginger quota, right? As a community. Musclebike confirms that with Indeed. Gotta love Bowen the GOAT. And Jacobin chimes in with, yep, still got Bowen. Granny Supledo, on the other hand, crying about Bowen. A lot of raw emotions about Ryan Bowen. I like Ryan Bowen. It's hard to convince me otherwise. I've liked him even more since I've met him. He's definitely a character, don't get me wrong. But yeah. I have nothing against the guy. I already made an entire video explaining all the things you could possibly have against him. So yeah, there you go. Boss Royale says, who are you thinking of doing a biography video on next? Interesting question. There's a couple. I've been wanting to do one on Arm Wars as an organization, also on Neil Pickup as a guy. I've been wanting to do one on Jerry Caderet, because a lot of people, I think, overlook sometimes how long Jerry has been in the sport. And I think there's an interesting story to tell there. So yeah, there's a couple for you that I've been thinking about. Neil Hans says, Neil, probably it's Neil then. Neil Hans says, from India, brother. That's awesome there. Neil, welcome. I still need to... There's something wrong with the subtitles on my latest video. Usually I put subtitles out in... all kind of languages, in Hindi, in French, in German, in all kinds of languages, but yeah, something's wrong with the subtitles for some reason. They won't auto-sync to the video. I write like a script for my videos beforehand, so it's really useful. I can just copy-paste it into YouTube's auto-sync function, and normally it takes care of it for me, but this time I might have to do it manually by hand, which will take, yeah, a long time. Maas says, yeah, these long videos you made on Legends, do you earn on them? Do you have a job? Yes, Maas. Yes, on all those questions, and I do earn on them, but very little. Yeah, very little. Not enough to support me, Maas. Reno says, I wonder if any big organizer will notice the beauty and quality of arm wrestling as a sport now at East vs. West 14. When it is held in US, and invest in it, or at least take some interest in it. Yeah, one can hope, right? I'm always hoping for a... what was his name? Kaplan, a Steve Kaplan, the guy behind WAL, to see something like East vs. West and, yeah, step in, like you said, and maybe get interested in sponsoring it would be nice, right? A new influx of money. Take it to the next level. Boss Royale says, also, what is the background music? I've been trying to find the name of that tune for ages. This one you're talking about, that's playing right now. It's actually funny you say that, Boss Royale, because this is an original track from a friend of mine. So yeah, maybe it just reminds you of a song, or maybe he stole some of it from a song, I don't know. But this is an original track called In My Soul from a friend of mine. I think he goes by Demonsh Music online. So yeah, there you go. Jacobin says Brad will be back. We can only hope. Don't know Hunter Knopf's Granny Supleal. Don't know. Neil Hans says, from how many years you have been arm wrestling? Who's your all-time and current favorite arm wrestler? I myself have been arm wrestling now for... How long has it been? I don't know. Maybe my training partners are still in chat. It has to be 3 years now or something. I've been weekly arm wrestling, so to speak. Training weekly and going to tournaments. Something like 3 years, 3.5 years. Who's your all-time and current favorite arm wrestler? That's a really tough question. It changes so much. I really like Kittergali. Hang on, guys. I believe we have a call in. Let me pause the music for a second. And let me check if we actually do. Alberto Enea. Welcome. That's nice, Alberto. Thank you for that. Quick interlude. The legendary Balkan says, great vid on Engin. Thank you, the legendary Balkan. Yeah, I put a lot of my time into it, so I'm glad you like it. Sergey says, love arm wrestling. Reno Masic says, I could call in. You're very free to call in, Reno. I think you'll be a better guest than the last guy. Let me just grab a new link because I closed the meeting for obvious reasons. Yeah, hang on. I'll post a new one for you, Reno. I don't know if any moderators can unpin my message in the meanwhile. My pinned message in chat. That would be greatly appreciated if you could, but I don't know if you can. So. Hey, Dan John, how you doing? Hey Reno, I'll send you a message on Instagram instead of making it public. Maybe that's a better idea. There you go. Sorry about the loud music, guys. Hey Boss Royale, send me a DM, man. I'll send you the names of my of the songs in my playlist. I'll get that for you. The name of that song, whichever it was. Granny Supleadle had his first arm wrestling practice last weekend. They were definitely not impressed by my strength, but they said that I had really good technique for my first time. I credit all the YouTubers. Awesome, Granny Supleadle. That's very good to hear. I think it's better to have good technique at first, right? If you can start off with having good technique, you're good to go. You just need to develop strength in the gym or on the table, and you'll be good. Hey, Boss Royale, send me a message on any social media, Instagram, Discord, Facebook, whatever. Send me a message there. There we go. I think we have Reno joining us. Hang on for a second here. Hey, Reno.
Man.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, one moment. I can't see myself. Like, is this? Oh yeah, I can see myself. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Try to
Should be
get this
good.
set up on a quite weird way because I can't get the my tripod is a little bit messed up. I don't know where the like the three legs that it's usually standing on are, but
Right.
yeah, I think I'm like cut off in the middle of my forehead, but
You're
that's okay.
balancing it somewhere. No, I think you're
Yeah,
good.
I'm balancing it on a box in which like I hold coffee in.
Okay.
On a like doesn't matter. Here, this is good.
Yeah. Welcome, Reno. Thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You're
no
always
problem.
welcome on the live
After
stream, of course.
thank you, thank you. After seeing that last call in, I was like, I hope someone normal is gonna call in soon, and then I had to drop in and save the day, I guess.
Yeah. In a way, you did. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
Some people, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So if this is like a casual like live stream, and like I always like talking about working out and all that stuff. I think people are generally very interested in that,
Sure.
and yeah, and some of the matches as well on East versus West. Probably like some of the
Yeah.
most interesting ones for me would
Hmm.
probably be Kamil versus Michael.
Right.
That's gonna be killer.
I think so. I think every match involving Michael is interesting for me to see, of course. But I think especially the Styles matchup of this match is going to be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I do think, I truly do believe that Michael has almost zero chance against Kamil. It's so hard for me to see, to imagine even Michael beating Kamil in a press, even though
Right.
I know
But
like Michael has a good press,
you're a
but
presser
still
through and
Kamil.
through, Reno. It makes sense
Yeah,
that you would
yeah,
be biased towards Camille, right?
yeah, of course. But it's like, I many times try to press through Camille's press, and sometimes it does go well, sometimes it doesn't. Especially now, Camille has gotten a lot stronger, and
Right.
I don't know. I haven't arm wrestled with him in a while, especially in like
Mm-hmm.
a proper tournament style or super match style match.
Sure.
So kind of for Michael to be that fast and that strong to go through Camille's press is just very hard for me to imagine. And the King's move doesn't bother Camille at all. So that's going to be interesting to see how Michael tries to, I guess, maneuver around it, around that flop wrist press and press in general.
Yeah. You think
It's going to be interesting.
he's gonna go defensive right away, or do you think Michael is gonna, test his frame, so to speak, and fly in there with a press as he sometimes does?
I think he's going to try to fly in with the press, and as soon, what I like the reason why I truly believe that Michael cannot press through Camille's press is the moment that I saw Michael try to press Lars, and as soon as Michael felt a little bit of resistance, he immediately backed off and got into a defensive King's move. And as soon as I
Right.
saw that, I was like, okay, if you are arm wrestling with anyone a little bit stronger than Lars, you can forget about that press, if you're that cautious. Being a presser, you have to take some risks when you try to press someone, of course,
Sure.
and he just doesn't commit enough.
Yeah, that's
Camil's
what.
going to be all the way committed. He won't care like if his arm breaks, he doesn't care. He's going to continue pressing. Michael is more cautious.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I wonder if that's I don't know, maybe just a consequence of age and experience, maybe injuries, something like that. I don't know. Hard to say.
Most likely, yes. Most likely, yes. And the style and his own experience. I think Michael trying to. I don't know if you watched the live stream. They had it like recently, like a few hours ago, maybe an
No,
hour
no,
ago
I
or something.
didn't. No.
Yeah, it was quite short, maybe 45 minutes, half an hour long.
Right.
And they were talking about they were like talking back and forth a little bit, and like Michael showed some of his exercises and what he does for like his preparation,
Hmm.
and man, it does not look good. Like
Really.
I know yeah. I mean, I'm talking from a perspective of someone who always tries to optimize every exercise so
Hmm.
it makes like the most sense to everyone, and that it can be applied to
Yeah.
basically anyone. Doesn't matter like your style of pulling or whatever. But seeing Michael do that, like pronation lift or whatever he calls it, like I have nothing against Michael by saying this. Of course,
Sure.
I'm just like I'm just like saying this in case someone sees that exercise and says like, "Oh, I'm gonna give that a try." It's like I wouldn't recommend that. Um,
Mm.
Michael usually uses the excuse that he arm wrestles in that way, in that fashion, and that's why he does that exercise in the way that he does it. But it doesn't make any sense because like there's no muscles being activated in the right way or stimulated
Yeah.
enough for him to get stronger. It's mostly all back work. He's just like pulling with his back and pronating maybe just like a centimeter or two.
Yeah, I
So
hear you on that, definitely.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it also that brings up a pretty good point to me, and something that maybe isn't talked about that much in arm wrestling. Do you think stuff like that, where people kind of make up these crazy exercises in the gym and proclaim they work for them, however it goes, do you think that's kind of a part of a reoccurring trend, something that's occurring more than just this one specific lift of Michael? I see it everywhere, to be honest, and I think it's kind of become some part of arm wrestling. I don't know why, but yeah, it kind of looks like it from my perspective, at least.
I would agree with you. Of course, arm wrestling or in any sport in that regard wouldn't be interesting if there was just like one straightforward way that
True.
everyone, like trained. There would be like no variety. It would be quite boring, if I have to say. Like, but
Yeah, yeah,
um, to a certain extent, you can make exercises that suit yourself a little bit better, especially if you have like some kind of injury or you're really, really specifically training for one particular move, but it has its limits. And what Ryan Bowen, Michael, even Kamil, like I love Kamil. He's literally
sure,
like I consider him my family, but
sure.
he as well does some silly exercises,
Yeah,
maybe that suit himself. He does them a little better than Michael, in my opinion, and Ryan. Ryan is really taking it a step too far. I'm this
sure.
close to starting a new series like on my YouTube channel to kind of get a fresh start after not recording for 8 months. That's like called, I don't know, something reacting to exercises or something
Oh yeah,
like
you
that
definitely should, man.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's really driving me insane. There's like no other way that I can put it. I am on the edge of like exploding because like my head is gonna explode from these exercises, like what
Yeah,
people are doing and promoting especially someone with such a huge platform
Hmm.
like Ryan and Michael and Camille even now. I
Yep.
just hope people are like realize that they are doing their own stuff, and even Toddzilla, his exercises as well are a little bit weird and funky.
Yeah, I know. There's and that's the case with a lot of high caliber guys in the sport. Even I even think in some cases, you could point the finger at Devon for doing the same thing. In some cases,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
We have James M in the chat, our local chat troll, who says, "Hide your men from Arm Historian." Yeah, hide your men and women from Arm Historian, James M. Hide everyone. He's our
You're
local homophobe here in the chat. Comes in every once in a while with a remark like that. I saw a remark earlier, a comment in chat with hide your women from Reno. So yeah, there you go. Definitely a
I
strapping man
know.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting comments.
Yeah, yeah. That's the kind of chat we have. No, that's not true. We have an awesome chat. Yeah, Reno, I think that's a really interesting talk and maybe something that is not discussed enough in arm wrestling, to be fair. I think also the fault lies partly with, and I hate to say this, with viewers, because videos where you post lifts like that is gonna get a lot more attention, I think. In certain cases,
Absolutely.
I hate to say this, but in a certain way it's kind of rage baity even, where I think people sometimes post these kinds of lifts just so people would comment on it. What are you doing? What is this kind of lift?
For sure. That's absolutely what people do. And like the sillier, the dumber, the more dangerous, the more awkward the lift is, I guess the more people are interested in it. They like have no regard to like having a like a proper approach to certain exercises. I mean, there's nothing wrong with promotion, be it like a bad or a good way. Promotion is still promotion of the sport and
Sure.
everything. But when it comes to, general safety and maybe people watching our sport from the third perspective, like without knowing anything and seeing like, oh my God, this guy is lifting, I don't know, like 100 kilos in such and such a way that like looks quite dangerous, and I don't want let's say my son, daughter,
Mm,
whatever, my friend involved in this or myself when this is the norm. This is what people do, and I don't want to do that.
yeah.
So having a more let's say scientific approach to it is
Yes.
almost always better. I mean, scientific. You don't need to. There's no like research in arm wrestling
Sure.
exercises yet, but having a little bit of a better perspective where you try to lift cleanly, like simulate certain moves as much as you can without sacrificing form or lifting through certain like bone locks or tendon locks,
Hmm.
as long as the muscle is working and everything is like correct, and there, you try to minimize the risk of injury, everything should be fine.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree. I think taking the more empirical approach as much as we can and working towards that is the way to go.
For sure.
It's funny that you
Yep, yep.
mention there hasn't been any research on arm wrestling lifts and stuff like that. There allegedly there is some research, and I mean actually peer-reviewed scientific research out there by one Igor Mazurenko, who
Oh, really?
apparently got his master's, I believe, by writing a dissertation on arm wrestling training. Now I've looked for it
No way.
everywhere. Might not exist. I don't know, but yeah,
It's just a
that's
rumor. It's a rumor.
yeah, indeed, it could be out there. Who knows? But I'd
Yeah.
love to get my hands
I
on
mean,
it.
yeah, of course, that would be interesting to see what they were
Yeah.
exactly testing and seeing. But, I guess the difficulty with arm wrestling in like in one part of it is that not everyone has the same conditions to train in, and not everyone is going to be doing the lift at the exact same angle, exact
Yeah.
same those stuff. So You know, I think some exceptions can be had, of course,
Sure.
when it comes to lifting. Like the pronation lift for me is honestly the most overrated lift that you can imagine. The most overrated thing,
Right.
especially yeah, like doing it. Okay, the pronation lift. If you did it without actually including your pronation and like testing your back pressure strength in that manner, I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be a way better exercise. Uh, I don't know. I think pronations should be more isolated, and the way that they lift it is so that it's prone to different angles being included, where the lift can be 10 kilos easier or 10 kilos harder, you know? So
Mm.
it's so like you can so easily change the whole premise of the lift that there's no point in even like I don't know, comparing people to each other with that lift. It's so inconsistent.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the issue with a lot of these lifts, right? We're talking about very minuscule movements compared to a lot of other sports, especially. So yeah, it makes sense that for arm wrestling, this is kind of a pseudo unique hurdle to overcome. I think.
Yeah,
We
yeah, true.
we have Neil Hans here in the chat saying, "Arm historian, can you please read my chats and the questions I asked to Reno?" Yeah, ask them again, Neil Hans, and I'll definitely ask them if I get a
I don't have
chance.
like I was watching you on my laptop, and I was like, okay, I can join in, you know, but it's better through my phone.
Hmm.
I guess I can set it up better in my room, so I can't see the chat right now. But you know,
Uh,
I could maybe read them if I had the chat.
yeah, that's totally up to you, man. That's yeah, your call. Everything is good for me. Whatever is more comfortable for you.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Um, Let me see here if we got some others here. The legendary Balkan says PhD, not masters. Excuse me, the legendary Balkan. Apparently, Igor Mazurenko got his PhD in arm wrestling, which
Hmm.
yeah, it's very interesting because I don't know of any PhD programs where I live in arm wrestling. I don't know of any people that could offer a grant for that. But yeah, lucky man to get it.
Yeah, yep,
Let's see. Yeah, but it'll be an interesting match. Michael thoughts and Camille definitely looking forward to that one. Is there
absolutely.
another standout match for you in the event?
Probably Jerry and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really interesting one as well. Um, Tough call. I honestly think Jerry being placed, I don't know, like what his rank is right now. Is he third or something like that? In the rankings in the 100, 10, 15 plus
Yeah,
class.
he's high
I
up.
don't know. Anyway, that is for me incredible. Like
Mm-hmm.
how does he even get to that place? Because
Like
I
literally
think,
incredible.
yeah, like in a sense, like okay, great job for him. I mean, he's great at what he does. That floppers press is obviously giving everyone a ton of problems, but I think it could be dealt with in such an easy way that I cannot believe that anyone else hasn't done it, you know. That's like
Mm.
one of the things. Okay, Hermes has found a great way to deal with it, and who else? I don't know. Who else beat Jerry? Only Hermes, right?
Yeah, recently only Hermes indeed, as far as I can
God damn,
remember.
that's fascinating.
Yeah,
How because I'm talking from a perspective from another presser, and I know
sure.
exactly what Jerry doesn't like, and exactly how to counter
Mm.
what Jerry does. And I have a feeling if I had a super match with Jerry, I would totally destroy him. That's my
Okay.
honest opinion, you know.
So
Not being
your opinion is not enough people know or want to put in the effort to know how to beat a presser like Jerry, and not that Jerry is
absolutely
that good of a presser that even if they do know, they couldn't stop him.
no. Jerry is a great presser,
Sure.
but I think he's not that great to be
Yeah.
at that position. You know, placed
Yeah. Yeah.
third, dude, third in overall in the world. You know,
Yeah.
that's
That's
crazy to me.
crazy. It is.
If Alex doesn't have a press in his arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
or something similar to what Hermes did,
Yeah.
dude, it's over. You know that he cannot win. He cannot win. Especially Alex has like a bad history of people beating him with a dead wrist.
Mm.
Like Ongarbayev beat him, Krasimir beat him as well with a dead wrist.
Yeah,
So
because he keeps into
absolutely,
that pronated position into the top
yeah,
roll, no matter what.
yeah. So that's like it's like I don't know if you get the reference from Far Cry 3. Like, what's the definition of insanity? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doing the
doing
same
the
thing
same
over and
thing.
over again.
Sure.
Yeah, expecting a different result. So, a lot of these top pullers that we see and have right now in the top of our sport are actually not that versatile.
It's funny, by the way. As a quick aside, you said that quote reminded you of Far Cry, and that quote reminded me of Einstein because I think that's an Einstein quote, if I'm not mistaken, originally.
really,
Yeah, so
really.
that maybe betrays my age a little bit that I'm not that up on Far
God.
Cry. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
that's an Einstein quote, or at least attributed to Einstein
Yeah,
originally,
yeah.
if I'm not
Probably,
mistaken.
probably it is.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
Probably it
go
is.
ahead.
No, no, no problem. Uh, But what was I saying? I was saying that the top guys in our sport right now are
Yeah.
actually not that versatile. If you look at it, they made it to that position because they're insanely strong in that one thing. They're insanely strong. Like nobody's better than them in the whole world in that one thing that they're doing.
Mm,
But as soon as someone gets close, uh, or even equal to them, or a little bit stronger in some certain other move,
sure.
which gets them to have to get out of their comfort zone and uh, kind of prevents them from doing the technique that they usually do like perfectly as they usually want to. As soon as that happens, everything falls apart. They scramble, they try to do something different,
Mm,
but most of the time that results in them losing. So
right.
being versatile, as you get, you know, stronger and stronger and higher, like on level in your level of arm wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, the stronger people that you face, the more technique and versatility and endurance has like a big part of like what if you're gonna actually win. That's going
Right.
to be a big factor, and it's going to determine a lot of your matches. So being extremely versatile is an ace in your hand that you can
Yeah.
have and totally destroy someone.
Do you think you kind of had to learn that lesson yourself? Or maybe in the public eye, people still see you, I think, as a presser. Um, I think you're more versatile than that because I've seen you arm wrestle in different ways, not only in person but also in videos. But do you think that kind of perception applies to you to a certain degree, Reno?
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, I learned this kind of the hard way, I guess you can say it
Sure.
like that. I always wanted to be versatile because I started off watching Devon and I always noticed how he can, the young Devon that didn't always go in a
Yeah,
king's move.
yeah.
He primarily went into a hook
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, high
A
hook
high
or
hook, yeah,
something
yeah.
similar. Yeah. So watching him and John Brezink always inspired me and kind of pushed me to be versatile. And from a young age, I always tried to develop all of my strengths equally. And then when I figured out that my press is really good, uh, I think that was when the first time I was at World Championships in
Okay.
Romania, something like that.
How old
That's
were
when
you
I figured
then,
out
if I can ask?
17.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So um, I noticed that even through other matches, like not even watching myself, but watching and analyzing other matches, like seeing, okay, what has this person now done wrong? Why did they lose? And a lot of the times it's just because they're not versatile enough. And let's
Mm,
say they go for, I don't know, a top roll, and the top roll fails, they get hooked, and they don't know how to transition into a great defensive hook. And from the defensive hook, how to get into an offensive position and then transition it into like a press or
mm-hmm.
something similar. So being versatile is one of the great weapons that you can have over your opponent,
Yeah.
especially when nobody like wants to learn how to like do a few other moves. People usually really like to only stay at one move. When we were in Belgium, when I was arm wrestling with everybody, 95% of the guys that I arm wrestled with were top rollers. They didn't know a single other move than
Yeah.
top roll.
Yep.
Not a hook, not a press, not anything else. Anything, just a top roll. So,
Yeah.
that is relative. That's like normal now, but it would be nice if the norm was to be versatile and know almost any move.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that becoming more of an issue for people as they progress up the ladder, so to speak.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, you're gonna want to be more versatile then. Neil Hans here has finally got his question in. He says, "What's your thoughts on Rickard Borman? Where can he be ranked? It's the Australian guy, right? Like a young
Oh,
guy
the
too.
the young Australian guy.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
he's amazing, dude.
yeah,
He's incredible. He he he's really impressive. The way that he beat Matej Harangi. I'm sorry, I'm
yep,
butchering
yep.
his name
Matteo Rangieta
probably.
Morris, yeah.
Yeah, yep. The way that he beat him was really impressive. Um, used the correct technique, the correct timing, everything to cut his strength off, and again was more versatile than Mate. I'm just gonna call him Mate for like
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, for shorter purposes. But uh, that again showed that Mate was not versatile enough. But he's really impressive, and he's giving a lot of trouble to Lachlan even and Ryan. Okay, Ryan expected to give problems to Ryan, but for you to, at such a young age, and he has like 1 or 2 years experience of arm wrestling, for you to be able to challenge the one of the great guys in our sport, such as Lachlan, is really impressive, and I hope he just continues out without any injuries,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he will reach great places truly. And I just hope to meet him soon and to see how strong he is, and maybe exchange a few tips and tricks.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I hope to just see more of him.
Yeah, that's another part of the question. Now that you mention it, how do you think your match with him would look? So, yeah, I think
Uh,
that's kind of an answer, right? I don't think. Yeah, I'll let
I
Reno
don't
answer
wanna,
that if he wants to.
yeah, I mean, answering like that. I mean, I think it wouldn't be too difficult for me, but of course, saying that kind of makes me, in my head at least, look like an ass. So I would just say we would have a good match. It would be a good match.
Mm, okay, awesome. Good to hear. I see someone here asking, "Hi, Arm Historian. I messaged you on Instagram under the name of Hike. Asked you where could find the club to train and spar. Yeah, you're in my region. I think there, Haikana. So yeah, I'll check that message and I'll get back to you. Reno was in my region too some time ago. How did you enjoy it? Did you stay longer, Reno, or just for a day?
Uh, we stayed one night before the seminar and training session,
Mm-hmm.
and then one day after as well, but not the whole day. Like half
Mm,
of the day. I really enjoyed it. Herentals is a really nice, picturesque little town.
sure.
Even though like the weather wasn't really on our side, it still
Mm-hmm.
didn't like deter us from going out and walking a little bit around and seeing what Herentals has to offer. And then we
Awesome.
went to Antwerp.
Ah,
It
yes.
was very nice. Yeah, we ate some Belgian waffles.
Mm-hmm.
They are bomb. I love them. I love anything sweet, let alone something as good as a Belgian waffle.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, then, we had to get some protein as well. So like at some steakhouse we ate as well and seen a bunch of awesome stuff. The giant church, I forgot the name of it,
Kathedraal
but
van Onze Lieve
yeah,
Vrouw. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yes,
deeply
yes.
familiar with it. Have been seeing it all my life. Awesome that
Yeah,
you've
it's
visited.
um amazing, dude. It's just like the scope of it. It's so enormous, and the details are incredible, honestly. The
Yeah.
whole the whole all of Antwerp was awesome. We really enjoyed it, and we stayed like uh a long, long time there. We went really early in the morning and
Mm,
stayed until like I don't know, like an hour before we were supposed to go on the plane.
awesome.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
good to hear, man. I'm glad you had fun in Antwerp. I hope maybe next time we can meet up if you're
yeah,
ever
yeah,
back over there.
for
Um,
sure.
awesome, Reno. Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as East versus West, or anything in general, arm wrestling related?
Um, do you maybe know who else? Who's the main event of East West? Is it Jerry versus
Let's take a look here.
Alex?
The main event is actually John Brezink versus Leonidas.
No way, dude. No
Yes,
way that
they're
that's the
built
main
as
event.
as a main event.
Oh my God, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is
What?
kind of crazy. Yep.
What? That's
I
absurd a little bit in my opinion.
maybe, and this is just speculation, of course, on my end, but maybe it's just the high regard Engin, and everyone holds John Brezink in high regard. Don't get me wrong, but Engin is a major John Brezink fan, always has been.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get it.
John had a huge impact in his life, and they were lifelong friends, I guess. But
Yeah, yeah,
still, it's a little bit odd. I think this is like John's first time being the main event.
yeah. It might be. Yeah, I'm thinking back, and he went versus Devon, also at East vs West or King of the Table. Which one was that? King of the Table, I think, right?
Where John was the main event.
John Brezink versus Devon. But that
Oh
was,
yeah, that was a long time ago.
yeah, yeah. It is a long time ago.
I feel like that was like 10 years ago, dude. That's like
Yeah,
2 years ago. Like we had so many amazing matches that some of the ones that happened like a year ago or even less
yeah.
feel like they were ages ago. So
You
that's incredible.
you remember Zurab versus Ram Bath?
Oof, I saw a highlight.
Yeah,
Was it today? I think it was today.
I
If
think
you
that
would
was.
ask me that would if I didn't see that accidentally, I wouldn't have remembered.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was East vs West 2, and one of the first
3-2.
yeah, something like that. And one of the first matches that I saw and was like, damn, this promotion is really good.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
really great match. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but Leonidas and John, interesting match as well.
mm,
Don't think, in my personal opinion, that they should be the main event, especially when John is not having a match with someone as high a caliber with him. I'm not saying that Leonidas is like not strong enough or something like that, but I think Leonidas just maybe doesn't have the experience, not maybe, but for sure doesn't have the experience of John, or he's not so cemented in
sure.
the arm wrestling community yet. But okay, I don't have a huge problem with that, of course.
Hmm.
Doesn't like matter at all. Uh, but interesting match. I think it's very difficult for me to predict this, um, especially after seeing this is on the right hand, right? I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's a right hand match. I don't see John is gonna do a left hand match anytime soon.
Yeah, 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 true. Seeing how Leonidas defeated Schoolboy on the left,
Hmm.
was it left or right? I can't even remember, dude. I'm
I think
like,
it's
is
right. Yeah, I'm not sure.
was it? Okay,
I think
he
it's right.
defeated Schoolboy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's right as well. He
Yeah,
defeated Schoolboy in quite a dominant fashion, which really like blew my mind. I couldn't
yeah,
believe
me too.
that. I thought Schoolboy was gonna smoke him,
Uh huh.
but yeah, impressive. Definitely, Leonidas has a bright future in arm wrestling if he continues. The only the only thing that I'm afraid of is for him to want too many things at once. Something similar that happened to Larry Wheels. He wanted bodybuilding, he wanted to build a gym, he wanted to be great at arm wrestling, and a whole bunch of other things. And you can't balance that out really well.
Mm,
If you're not going
yeah,
to focus on one or two things like max, those things are not going to reach
that makes
the
sense.
level of greatness that you want to achieve. But United definitely has a shot at beating John, especially now that John is even slower and older, sadly.
Mm,
But you know, it's tough to bet against John and his hand control. I think if Leonidas can fight without his hand, he can beat John quite easily.
Hmm.
But if he can't, he will lose to John,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
John, yeah, John will definitely take advantage of that. That lack of versatility again. Coming back to versatility every time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but
interesting match. If I had to bet on someone, I would probably choose John to
hmm,
win, but it's
but
going to
it's
be
close.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see this match being close too. I guess it depends on John's kind of condition right now. I don't know. We haven't seen him pull for quite a while. I think in a
Yeah.
official match, so it'll be interesting to see. I have a viewer question here for you, Reno, saying what numbers in the gym should a puller have as far as back pressure and what not? Are there some milestones or goals? Interestingly, I saw Reno talk about exactly this during his talk, or at least very adjacent to this during his talk. So I don't know, did they film that, Reno? I thought I saw a camera there somewhere.
I filmed everything. I will
Okay,
answer
you
this
did.
question, dear viewer, in a second. But I recorded everything, but it's so hard for me to like cut things out and put them in. I
Mm,
don't know. I don't know. I wanted to upload the whole thing, but then I was like thinking, maybe not. Maybe, people might not attend so many of my seminars, not only for me, but the organizer as well.
mm.
People might not attend so many seminars when they know, oh, it's going to be uploaded in like a
Yeah, I
day.
get you.
So
That makes
I don't,
sense.
yeah. So maybe some highlights I will maybe post them, but not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
Um, but for me to answer your question, um, look, milestones are very dependent on the the way that your whole arm and body and your physique is built. So someone like Georgi Tsvetkov has an enormous hand, and his back pressure is only 52 kilos. Can you
Mm.
believe that? You know,
That's crazy.
it's simply because he doesn't need the same amount of force to open someone's wrist or to pin them as someone like I do, because I have a much smaller surface area of my hand and
Mm.
wrist and fingers and everything. So uh, as soon as you like realize or establish the size of your hands, and like if you think they're quite big or I don't know, smaller than you want them to be,
Mm.
um, or for if they are ideal for your category, then the milestones can be, set. So for someone like me, I am in the 110, 115 kilo class. All the guys have huge hands, and
Mm.
you will rarely see anyone in that class that has the same sized hands as I do. So for me, a good milestone to compete with those guys and be at the top is 75 kilos, or even 80. I haven't hit
Okay.
80 yet,
Yeah.
but those are sick milestones. If you can do
Yeah,
even
yeah.
70, even 65, that is amazing. Those numbers are sick, and if you manage to do that, you can definitely compete with them. But if you are in the upper classes or even some lower classes, you might not need as much
Hmm.
back pressure as I do or someone in a 100 kilo class does,
Okay.
just because the frames of the guys that you're against, or even your frame, might be completely different,
Hmm.
and you can apply much more force with less force. Like your surface area again of your hand
Right.
has a great deal of impact on your opponent.
Yeah, I think everyone that has spent any significant amount of time on the table can notice that just the size of the hand makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not necessarily that the guy with the bigger hand always has like a massive advantage or anything like that. Because, like you said, you can
Yeah, yeah,
train for what you have, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Usually people with bigger hands neglect their bicep and back pressure strength because they
Yeah.
think they don't need as much of it. So as soon as you turn him in or as soon as you apply the strap and the playing field gets a little bit more leveled, you can get him quite easily.
Now you're yeah, now that feels like a personal attack to me. Now you're just describing yeah, what I sometimes have. Indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. My training partners all have smaller hands and yeah, I feel like sometimes if you take that out of the equation, yeah, I get put in an uncomfortable position that I'm not used to at tournaments
Yeah,
sometimes. So definitely makes sense.
absolutely. Yeah. And you, like, as a guy with a bigger hand, you should probably try to avoid going into the strap if it doesn't suit
Mm,
you. And you should try to, like, always be in a place where you're not fully trying, if you're a top roller, right?
hmm.
You should be in a place where you're not fully taking your opponent's wrist, but you're only applying the pressure as high as you can on your
Mm,
opponent's hand without taking the wrist, so they cannot slip and they feel the most force on their bicep and uh, brachioradialis, so you can pin them without slipping, and then you're golden. They can't do anything
right.
about that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll take that to heart. It's yeah, I think there's a whole thing to be said, right, for the slip game and strap game, and there's so many aspects that require specific training. I believe even on the table, just training different situations, different scenarios, and stuff. Having done them at least a couple of times, I know it's not the same in a tournament as with your training partners, but I still think that memory carries over to some degree. Even if it's a
Absolutely.
very niche situation that wouldn't happen a lot.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Again, one of the things that I was talking about in my seminar was like side table and uh, table pulling in general, table time.
Mm,
People should do less of it overall. And if they are planning to do any of it, they should do it maximally at 70% of their power and just going over like certain scenarios and simulating awkward positions and getting out of
yeah,
them in certain ways. So that should be the goal of table time. A lot of people don't get that and they just like go all at it,
yeah,
they go harder than they would in competition.
yep,
They go harder at side table
yeah, yeah,
pulling, and they get hurt. They can't train. They get pumped up, and you lose a week or two of
for
training, and
sure.
you get maybe some injuries that can't recover for months.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
be
That make
cautious.
that definitely sounds like something even I experience at like a low level of the sport, especially compared to you, where new people sometimes come in to train with us. They go all out. We try to tell them not to. We try to do everything to be accommodating in that way, but it's just impossible with some people. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
You know what?
So,
Arm wrestling is too fun. It's
hmm,
so enticing, and you just want to, grab someone's arm and start pulling immediately. Um, some people even go as far as not warming up before pulling, which is like a
yeah,
terrible mistake, of
it
course.
is.
But going in like cold into a match is like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
But it's very hard to regulate new guys and to get them kind of to stay off the table. So what you can do is maybe tell the people that are arm wrestling with them to, go lighter or
hmm,
something like that. But if you have like two beginners, then you're kind of screwed. You just gotta,
for
let them
sure.
do and you gotta let them, find out the hard way. You
Yeah.
just let them do that.
The issue with that is that a lot of people I found just come to the first training and never show up again because they're saying
Oh
their
yeah, yeah,
arm
yeah,
is still
true.
hurting.
True,
Yeah.
true, true. That sucks as well. Yeah, I had so many people show up, and the next day, I'm like, "Where you at, dude? Like, I thought you were gonna come over and
Uh,
train." Ah, no, no, I think I had enough of arm wrestling. My arms
yeah.
are like falling off. I can't get them above my head. That's how
Yeah.
how painful it is.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes, unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it's
the
a good way
first month.
to weed out the weak, right? We'll look at it that way.
True. Yeah, it's like natural selection.
Yeah, indeed.
Who is ready to give it their all to this?
Cream of the crop rises. Reno, I'll ask you one last question from a viewer, and then I'll let you go, man. I appreciate the time you
Yeah, no
spent
problem.
here.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it was really a fun talk. Neil Hans says, Reno, do you also train at home or in your room with resistance bands, grippers, or weights in your free time?
That's a good question. And I think people might be overdoing it, especially for a sport like arm wrestling. I think having one workout, maximum two a day, um, of course, hitting other muscle groups, not the same ones, is perfectly fine. I don't do anything in my room or anywhere else. I guess when a competition is coming up,
Hmm.
you can use some, resistance bands and light work with your I don't know, this is going over certain angles that you're going to use in a competition. But generally, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I think that will only leave you more fatigued for the next day,
Hmm.
where you should, use that time instead for resting. The time that you would use like with rubber bands or grippers. I think it's better off using that for rest and to get like restarted and so you can give it your all on the next training session. And using hand grippers, I find them quite I don't know, useless, not really
Hmm.
that good at strengthening the you know actual grip strength that is needed in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Again, they're not too, it's not bad if you do them, but there are better ways in my opinion, and one of them would be probably just taking a like 50 millimeter handle or 60 and just holding it like this and
Hmm.
from the ground lifting it up while holding your as Travis would say door knocking knuckles
Yeah, yeah.
at the same level as these knuckles right here,
Now
so
that's
keeping them
it's
straight
interesting that
like so.
you go from ground up with your containment exercises.
Yeah,
Like your
because it doesn't strain any of my other muscles. So it doesn't
hmm.
strain my back so much. It only
Okay.
strains my legs, you know. I
Right.
always look at it yeah, I only look at it from that way. I don't want to strain any other muscle than the one that needs to be, strained. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
go and you do that like pulling like
Yeah, that's the
this,
way I do it.
yeah, immediately your back is going to be included in the move,
Yeah,
and
true.
even your bicep, and your brachioradialis as well is going to be included
Hmm.
in the movement a little bit. So you want to avoid that as much as possible,
Yeah.
especially if you're putting on some big weights, which you will be able to lift with your fingers, because fingers are in general quite strong and can get stronger than your biceps
Hmm.
and your brachioradialis or
Okay,
back
I
pressure.
see.
So yeah, doing those exercises from the ground is I think the one of the better ways that you can
And also
do
safer
them.
than, yeah, at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's actually really interesting for myself personally too. Reno,
Yeah,
once again, really thank you for calling in. I appreciate it greatly. I feel like we had a good
no
talk
problem,
here.
man.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll stick around
Thanks,
a
man. You
while.
too.
Yeah, thank you. I'll stick
Yeah,
around a
sure.
while
I'll be in
to
the
talk
chat,
with chat.
and
Awesome. Okay.
yeah, sure. See you,
Thanks,
man.
Reno. See you later, man.
Bye. Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye. There you go. Reno Masic. Awesome guy. How can you not love? Wait. Sorry. Was kinda loud. How can you not love Reno, right? How can you not love Reno Masic? Yeah, I'm just gonna catch up on chat a little bit here, guys, for some unanswered questions, and then I'm gonna call it a stream too. Had a lot of fun. Great talk, I think. White Wolf says Bogdan Stoika has a PhD in arm wrestling. Interesting, okay. Yeah, maybe I should hit Bogdan Stoika up sometime and talk to him about that. Limo Swine says, hey, does anyone know how to contact Arm Historian? Personally, I needed some information from him. Hit me up on any of my social media, Limo. or on Discord, wherever. You can drop a comment too on YouTube if you want, but then it'll be public, of course. But yeah, if you want to PM me anytime, send me a message. On Instagram, sometimes it takes me a while because the way Instagram groups messages is just a mess. So sometimes your message will end up in, some other category that I'm not aware of, some spam category. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Lat Rousseau says, I think Minde says he does table time every day, but at 30% or so. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of different... We touched on it briefly with Reno there. There's a lot of like different mentalities on how to do stuff best, right? In arm wrestling training. So it's hard to really get a sense sometimes. At least I feel this way as a puller. It's hard to get a sense of what's the best way, right? To do stuff. And even when we're talking at like a larger scale, like you're mentioning here, how much of your training should be table time versus how much should be gym time. I think Reno is a big proponent of doing mostly gym time, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry for that. Let's see, who else do we have? Neil Hans touches on it here with, what are your thoughts on Bulgarian arm wrestling training? Heard they train on the table 5 to 6 times a week and sometimes 3 times a day. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Pretty crazy. I've been wanting to do a video on that too, but it's definitely a topic I need to do research on, in the sense of getting in contact with a lot of people. I've talked to Krasimir before, so maybe I should just hit up Krasi and pick his brain a little. White Wolf says, thanks to Reno for coming on Arm Historian. Yes, indeed. White Wolf says, where did Reno grow up? His English is excellent. I believe Reno grew up in Croatia. I believe I mentioned that in my video on him, although I'm not quite sure if I did, looking back on it. But yeah, Reno definitely one of the young people involved with the sport that has a very clear passion for the sport. And I think it shows on and off the table. Also, just in general, a nice guy, right? A friendly guy, positive. His English accent is excellent, says White Wolf, even better than arm historians. Muscle Bike, please ban White Wolf right now. Will not tolerate such things. Atlantis said, it seems like your Engin video should have way more traction. Did you avoid using his name in the title on purpose? And he's out driving. No, I didn't. Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe I should put his name in the title. I don't know if it would help that much. I know some of my biggest videos, or at least my biggest video, doesn't have the puller's name in the title, but that's maybe because Devon Larratt is more recognizable. So yeah, maybe I should. It's a tough call. I don't know. It's not getting no views, but it's getting very little views at the moment. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird, Atlantis. I've kind of tried not to worry about stuff like that much anymore. Maybe I should. But yeah, sometimes a video will just do well out of nowhere, seemingly. I remember my Devon video was like stuck at 10k views or something for months, and then half a year later, all of a sudden, it's like at 200 plus k. Devek says, I wish Reno did videos putting us through his whole workouts for the week. Just want to see him work out. Yeah, Reno, I think, could have a great channel online, a great YouTube channel, or anything like that. I think people in general are just, like you said, interested in seeing his techniques and his way of working out. I love that he has an empirical approach to workouts, and he tries to quantify things in that way. Yeah, I think that's right up my alley. Limo Swine says, feels good attending your live stream. After so many months, you've grown nicely, Mr. Arm. I'll try more to attend the streams now that live is a bit more stable. All good, Limo Swine. I know you've been around from the start. or at least for a very long time. I think from the start, right? So yeah, I definitely appreciate all the support, and feel free to drop by whenever you want. You're always welcome here, of course. Everyone is welcome, even James M is welcome. And even the little kid that called in and started shouting is welcome in my chat. I think he actually helped me tonight by getting Reno to come on. So yeah, thanks for that, little kid. Henry talking about arm wrestling celebrities. Henry, the reaction guy, is in the chat. I shouldn't call you the reaction guy anymore, Henry. I'm sure you'll be known for a lot of other stuff. How you doing, Henry? How are those 7 keys going, Henry? It was 7, right? Or I'm not mocking you, by the way. I hope my tone doesn't come over that way. I'm genuinely curious how they're going. Lat Rousseau says, Reno learned English from gaming. Hey, I learned a lot of my English from gaming. Don't knock it. I spend a lot of time playing the Super Nintendo and learning a lot of English from those games. It's a good way to learn a language, my man. Neil says, Reno is a very smart guy. He's not only strong, but also have great knowledge about the sport. He's an idol for me. I can't press. Yeah, Reno's a great guy. Good presser, obviously. Thanks, Atlantis. I'm glad you liked the latest video. I hope it takes off too. We'll see, I guess. Yeah. We'll see. I hope so too. But thanks for giving me... yeah, for kind of planting that thought in my head of maybe I should put Engin's name in the title of the video. Wasn't a conscious decision. Neil Hans says, I learned my English from WWE. That's a good way too, man. Yeah, however you can get it done, get it done. I learned my French from school, and it's by far my worst language, I think. So yeah, there you go. Jack Coben says, you're a good man, arm historian. I don't know about that, but I am a good arm, right? Lat Rousseau says, I learned English from cartoons and Spanish from watching telenovelas with my grandma. Awesome. That's good to hear. However you can get it done, man. And that's a good way, right? Cartoons is fun. Definitely learned a lot of English from watching like English Disney movies and stuff like that when I was younger. So yeah, I hear you. Henry says the keys are doing alright. The green-blue predictions are 9/11. Does that mean they're terrible? Because 9/11 was a national tragedy, right? Sorry, trying to do a norm bit there, but not succeeding. So yeah, you're 9 out of 11 on the green-blue predictions. The lower quality predictions have done awful. Okay, fair enough there, Henry. Maybe tune it a little bit, and I'm sure it'll get there, right? White Wolf says, arm historian, you really need to develop your neck, forearm neck more. Get more vascularity, you're right. Now, I do want to say, this representation of me is outdated, so maybe I should put in another one, a new one. Henry is betting a few K each event, and I haven't lost one yet. Awesome, Henry. Yeah, I hope you earn a lot of money. Win a lot of money, however you want to put it. Muscle Bike, you don't have to do that, man. You've already been really generous this live stream. But thank you for the £10 live stream. He says, here is my Aussie arm wrestler super chat. Latest video was no less brilliant and will gain traction soon enough for sure. Hashtag armgods. Hashtag AU. Hashtag Haru. Thank you so much, Muscle Bike. I really appreciate it. That's way too generous, but I thank you. Neil Hans says, arm historian, can you make a video on Johnny Walker? Young arm wrestlers don't know about him. He was a legend. You need to do heavy research. Yes, very good suggestion there, Neil. He's on the list. I've got a list of people I want to cover. But yeah, definitely good suggestion there. White Wolf says maybe the necktie is interfering with forearm vascularity. Yeah, maybe it's a blood flow issue. Might be true, White Wolf. Lat Rousseau says, I did French in school for 8 years. and my French is non-existent. Yeah, I hear you, man. Mine is a little better than non-existent, but not by a lot, so yeah. And I had it for, yeah, just about that long too. 8 years. 2 years in elementary and 6 years in secondary school. Xay, no, we didn't. We didn't really. We kind of hinted at a young Australian guy. I'm blanking on his name for some reason. Borman. But yeah, I think Reno would take Borman right now. Might be wrong, but yeah, who knows. Henry might start uploading his own videos about his predictions and thinking behind them. That's awesome, Henry. You should. I definitely encourage anyone with like an original idea to put a video out there and start an arm wrestling channel. I think that's a great idea. I think we need more channels. White Wolf using his member message 10 months now. That's crazy, my man. Saying Aru. Aru, back to you, White Wolf. Yeah. Another awesome member of the community. Big supporter of the channel, and I greatly appreciate him for that. Also just great guy in general. Justin B says, great video on Engin. Thank you, Justin B. I'm glad you enjoyed it. White Wolf, no man. Come on. $20 super chat. Saying Aussie Arm Wrestler super chat, you can thank Jake. Loosen the tie, the blood must flow. I thank you, White Wolf. I feel bad for Jake now. Whichever beef is going on or whatever it is, I'm trying to stay out of it as much as possible, but yeah. I'll be sure to thank him. I'll do that for you. Thanks a lot, White Wolf. You don't have to do that, I'm serious. You've already done a lot for the channel. As has Muscle Bike, as has everyone who's ever tuned into the live stream. Already doing more than enough for the channel, so I appreciate it a lot, but you know, definitely don't need to do that. Neil Han says, I'm very interested in Dave versus Frank. I like both of them. What's your thought? Yeah, I don't know. If you would have asked me this question a year or two ago, I would have said Dave would have killed him. But now I don't know. So, might be a good match, right? Riker, it says Arnold Larson. Thank you, Arnold Larson. Another awesome part of the community there, Arnold Larson. Thank you for clarifying there. I blanked on his name. Robert, coming in with his impeccable French, saying bonjour. Bonjour to you, my friend. Or should I say, mon ami. Expert French, obviously. Yeah, definitely Jacobin. Check him out. Yeah, guys, I think I'm about at the end of it. My throat is getting really dry, and it's been a pretty long day. A fun day, but a long day. Awesome live stream. I didn't have a lot to talk about coming into the live stream, but yeah, I had a great time talking to Reno, talking to you guys, taking a look at East versus West. Yeah, it was awesome. Just checking in with you guys. I always, well, not always, but sometimes I lose track of how much fun it is. If that makes sense, not to get too sentimental here, but sometimes I lose track of how good of an ending to my week it is. Which, yeah, that means a lot to me. So I thank every single last one of you for tuning in, for talking arm wrestling with me, shooting the shit with me. I always enjoy it to a great degree. Neil Han says, brother, I enjoyed a lot. I will be back for sure. I still got many questions, and I welcome your questions for sure, Neil. It's been good to have you in the chat. I always love it when new people join in. It happens quite a bit when a new video drops, so yeah, welcome for sure, Neil. Muscle Bike, you're very welcome, of course. Thank you for tuning in, for your great generosity. White Wolf, same to you. Everyone who was in chat, thank you. Reno, thanks once again if you're still listening. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. And yeah, I hope I'll see you same time, same place next week, right? Sunday. I'll be sure to be there. I hope you are too. Look forward to a new video sometime soon. And yeah, see you later, guys. See you next Sunday. Arm Historian out. Bye-bye.